The strategy was developed as a very consultative process by OKACOM, and since its adoption, we'd had to look at ways of implementing, part of which is taking out the capacity building and training to ensure that those who are responsible for the implementation of the strategy are well equipped and capacitated to carry out this process. It is therefore very critical and important that at this stage, where we are being able to actually impart knowledge and capacity to the staff of the Secretariat at this stage, and hopefully we'll be taking this forward with the member states, that we are able to understand the concepts, we are able to understand what responsibilities each of us have in ensuring that gender mainstreaming is effected in the Commission.
It is important for OKACOM staff to understand the gender principles or the gender concepts. And when we take an approach of inclusivity and gender equality, which is actually full enjoyment of rights and the equity, fairness, the staff have to understand the difference between going beyond fairness, which is equity, and moving towards equality, which is having the access to resources and fully enjoying. Then looking at integration and issues like gender mainstreaming. How do we get to have gender mainstreamed or integrated from the project design, project implementation, and monitoring and evaluation? How do we get to understand what we are looking for, especially from a sex disaggregated data? How do we get to develop projects and activities that are gender inclusive or gender sensitive? When the staff understand how to bring the gender perspective and social inclusion into the mainstream of everything they do, then they get to understand when they meet the communities and work with communities, how actually each and every member of the community can participate into the whole cycle of program design, program implementation, and monitoring and evaluation.
The Gender Equality and Social Inclusion Toolkit is designed to address gender imbalances in society. For OKACOM, this toolkit is very important as a transboundary river basin organizations need it in their water project in order to ensure that the rights of men and women are addressed, that the vulnerable and other social groups are included, and that the power relations within the different water users, their stakeholders, are also addressed. The toolkit that we'll use for OKACOM is borrowed from the CRIDF toolkit, which has 3 components of access, participation, and preferences. We're going to use 2 case studies, one from Cubango in Angola, the other one from Maoni in Botswana. These are true case studies. They are projects that are being implemented by OKACOM. The participants will analyze the information that we have and use the toolkit to ensure that gender analysis is done correctly and accurately, and they're able to move on and plan gender action plans.
I am enriched a lot from the participating in this program, because a lot of concepts which I ordinarily would not have really gotten a lot of insight on came out very clear, and I can now be in a position to distinguish between gender equality equity, social inclusion, and that it is not only always about the numbers of how many men or how many women are participating in programs, is the actual integration of the gender principles to ensure that the downstream activities that we do translate into actual tangible results that can make a particular gender to be better empowered, to make meaningful livelihoods from them. Do not even necessarily require financial resources. With the resources that are already available in the EU program, for example, we can already begin to do sensitization programs, conceiving livelihood programs which are already budgeted for in the program to ensure that we use the concepts that we learned at this program to integrate the gender issues into the uptake of the activities that we are implementing.
It is important that Resilient Waters program, supported by the USAID, supports the implementation of the gender mainstreaming strategy for OKACOM, mainly because in the objectives of the program, Resilient Waters program, we have to build resilient institutions in water resource management. And OKACOM is one of those institutions. We are hopeful that the next steps of training in terms of monitoring gender activities, collecting data, all those things will be undertaken so that the Secretariat are in a position to gather that information, to monitor the activities that they are doing, to see if indeed the gender mainstream strategy is being implemented. So as a way forward, we'll be engaging with the Secretariat, with the Commission, and learning and improving on what we have started so that eventually we can put the lessons together and say, have we achieved what we wanted to achieve in the gender mainstreaming strategy of OKACOM? So with the support from Resilient Waters, I think it will go a long way in ensuring that the baby steps of implementing the gender mainstreaming strategy takes place, takes off, such that now even at the Commission level, member states can get to appreciate gender, and such that even the reports that we do for member states at that level has got gender perspectives and included in them.